Yes. Go play. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another gorgeous day here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. You've seen this tractor in videos in years past, but you haven't seen it on the channel in a couple years. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Ventrac tractor. We're also going to talk about the two TYMs that we see right here. And we're going to talk about why this little tractor is one of the most indisposable machines on the farm. This little tractor is a beast. This is the most used machine on the Stoney Ridge Farm when it comes to mowing season. So come along, let's have a little bit of fun. We'll show you the tractor, we'll show you these tractors, and we'll get busy. We got some chores to do. We'll lubricate this thing and get her done. So before we start talking about the Ventrac, and you may have never seen this tractor before, then again, you may have seen it on the channel years back. This machine has been here for somewhere in the neighborhood of 5.5 to 6 years. It's got about 600 hours on it right now, and it is the most used tractor when it comes to mowing season on the farm. Now we've got a couple other tractors right here. This is the TYM T254. It's a 55 horsepower cab tractor, and right now on the back of it, I've got the Woods stump grinder, and I was just grinding a couple stumps yesterday. Awesome tool. We're going to be swapping this out for a spray rig. I've got some all natural spray that we're going to be using on the pastures. It re-inoculates the bacteria in the soil, which helps to pull nitrogen and reduces fertilizer use. You'll see that in a future video. This is the TYM T1104, and this is a big daddy. This is a 110 horsepower tractor right here, and this is our Batwing drag harrow. You'll see that in a future video if you haven't already seen it. We're going to be dragging the pastures again, and then we're going to hook up to the Woods Batwing, and we're going to go over there and we're going to start mowing in behind the cows to cut off the old dying growth and stimulate new growth. We're on a 150-acre piece of property here. This is absolutely an overwhelming and daunting task to keep mowed and groomed and looking nice. And as you can tell, I try my best to keep it mowed and keep it groomed and keep it looking nice. And the most instrumental mower slash tractor on this farm has been the Ventrac 4500Y. Why? Y means diesel. Kubota diesel. Let's walk around this little tractor, and we're going to take the finished deck. We've got 3 miles of fence line to mow, so we got to go get busy. Up, up. Got to be on the same rock, eh? Want to shake? Want to shake? Shake. I got to shake. Shake it, Lexi. Good girl. Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Kennel. Smart dogs, huh? Guys, this is the Ventrac 4500Y. This is the previous version. There is a newer version out. It looks a lot more Transformer-esque in the front. It looks a little bit different. There's some new redesigns. This is the finished deck, and the finished deck is really cool. It's got casters, big heavy-duty casters on it. This has been used, guys. I don't baby my equipment. There's a roller on here for striping the yard, which looks really nice. There are 2 hydraulic fittings and a hydraulic hookup over here on this side. We have them disconnected right now, and this machine looks used because it's been used, okay? So we've got hydraulic connectors right here, and that allows us to lift the deck all the way up vertical so that we can sharpen our blades and do our maintenance work. So it makes it super easy, guys. There's a belt drive system that hooks up right here, and that drives this. Now, this has 8 wheels on it. Why does it have 8 wheels? And look how mushy. Well, that one's not very mushy. That one's pretty mushy. These are set up to have 8 PSI. This tractor is for mowing steep grades, steep slopes. And I'll tell you, there has not been a slope on the farm that I could not mow down the edge of it sideways. It's absolutely fantastic. This is the cool top. This is an awesome little feature right here. Basically an air conditioner. The blow down on the operator, keep you nice and cool. On the rear of this machine, we opted for the optional 3-point hitch so we can drag a landscape brake, we can drag a scrape blade, we can drag all sorts of stuff. It does not have a rear PTO, but we do have dual hydraulic hookups, so we've got plenty of hydraulic use back here in the very back. This just raises up and down. These are heavy weights on the back to keep the front end down. So that is, in a nutshell, what the Ventrac is. Oh wait, the most important part. This tractor doesn't steer. In other words, the steering wheel turns left to right, but it doesn't turn the wheels, it actually turns the whole tractor. So if we get up under here and take a look, this is an articulating tractor. This linkage connects the rear half with the front half, and it bends in the middle, okay? Just like that, versus like a regular car where the wheels would turn. That makes this thing super capable, but also you can get in a pinch with that. So I say a pinch when you're going around fruit trees. If you've got a lot of trees in your yard, you want to make sure that they're spaced out appropriately, and you don't want to get too close with a tree right in the center there, or a fence post or anything, a rock or whatever, because you'll get hung up in the middle of that and you'll have to run over your tree or hook a bigger tractor to this and pull it outward. Ask me how I know. I have been hung in the fence with this because it will crab walk. It's called crab walking when you're on a steep grade and you're driving down the edge of a fence line. It tends to walk down the hill ever so slightly. So there is a learning curve, just like with any tractor. There's a learning curve to running this machine. There's a learning curve to running that machine. There is a learning curve. So without further ado, I think we need to hop on this critter and get busy. We're gonna open the hood just so you guys can see what's under here. So this is a little Kubota B-Series engine right here. That's all it is. You check the oil right down there. Every time we use this machine, we check the oil. This is your radiator. It's backwards, right? The radiator's backwards. Everything's backwards. So this actually drives off of the rear of the engine, the PTO, which drives that. The rear is facing forward and the front is facing this way. So the fan actually draws heat through this huge radiator system right here and pulls heat in through these vents right here. I have never had any trouble with the Ventrac tractor overheating. It will get warm, it will get trashed because you're mowing with a front deck. So you got to think about this. You're mowing, you're blasting up debris and dust, and that debris and dust, you're driving through it. So that's where this cool top really comes into effect. It pulls air from above down onto you to keep you from getting covered in dust. But you do get a little bit dirty when you're using a front mount deck. Now, after we get done, we're going to go ahead and go over to the other side of the farm and mow our fence lines. I mow the fence lines with the finish deck. I mow the rough and tumble stuff with the tough cut deck, and that's what you'll see here in just a minute. So let's go get busy and get her done. All right guys, hit that like button if you like this kind of content. Jump in, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you back here on our first generation farm. This is just part of it, and we're entering into mowing season. So early summer mowing season is very important. We want to stimulate grass growth out in our pastures. However, we don't want to stimulate grass growth on the edges of our pastures. If you look at what we're mowing right now, all the way around the entire perimeter of the farm, which is about 3 miles of fence line, is about 16 to 18 feet of space between the forest and the fence. And the reason we do this is to keep trees, brush, and debris off the fence line. We keep it well maintained, and we can drive around the entire perimeter for making fence repairs. If the cows get out, it'll be super easy for us to round them up and get them back in. And this keeps trees off of the fence when we have windstorms and stuff like that. Now, inevitably, we'll have a tree blow over on the fence once in a while. That's just part of farming. It's just part of normal life here on the farm. However, if we space our fencing far enough away from the woods, we're only cutting out about 1 acre per mile of fence built. So it's really a blessing to do it this way. Guys, as you can see, this Ventrac is just blasting through this really tall grass. This is not something that you would be able to take a regular zero-turn mower through. This is some really high and thick grass and weeds. You can see we're pushing through some really tall weeds right here, and we're slinging a ton of debris out of this mowing deck. There are 3 blades on this mowing deck, and it will straight chew through some brush and tall grass. The little Kubota diesel engine in this thing really shines through. It's super torquey. It's only a 25 horsepower Kubota diesel engine in it, but as compared to a gas engine, it's hands down 10 times better when it comes to torque and getting into heavy and deep grass. All right, so folks, we are all done with the finish mower for now. Simple, very, very simple to disconnect the finish mower. There's a knob over here I reach and I grab. It releases a hook, okay? Put it into float mode, and then we simply actually disconnect. All right, right there. And then we'll just back right out of the implement and go to the next implement. Simply line up our loader arms. Up we go. So that's locked into position. There's a belt right here. We simply drop the belt on the pulley, pull it tight, we're ready to go. Awesome. All right, guys, we got the tough cut deck on this machine now, and we're getting ready to mow some thick, heavy stuff. This is grass that I failed to mow last year. I didn't mow it last year, maybe not even the year before. So there's a lot of little saplings, there's brush, there's potentially some rocks and stumps that are up under this tall grass. And that's where having this front mount mowing deck really shines. So when we're pushing through this tall stuff, we can see what we're mowing. We can see down into the grass as we go through it. And that way we can avoid rocks and stuff like that. If I were mowing this with a conventional mower behind a tractor, I would run the risk of tearing up my blades. I can feather the deck on the Ventrac better than I can feather the deck on a conventional tractor with a rotary cutter. In other words, I can lift it up an inch or two, down an inch or two. I can move this deck around, and I can stop and back up with ease, where if you were in a conventional tractor, you'd have to stop, change gears, back up, pull forward. It's just a lot more convenient to run the Ventrac tractor, and it's super good on steep grades. You just don't have to worry about turning over. Folks, we're about to wrap this up. Sure is looking good. What a great time mowing today. The farm is looking absolutely gorgeous. I hope you'll stay tuned and pick another video after this. There'll be some cool links there at the end of this video for you. We're gonna be out in the pastures. We're gonna be dragging. We're moving chickens. We're mowing with the Batwing big mower. It's gonna be great. All right, guys, Did you see how that thing handled all that tough brush? That is why they call it the tough cut. The Ventrac just does a fantastic job. If it came down to it and I had to choose between one of the smaller tractors and the Ventrac, I would choose to keep the Ventrac, simply because I can't get in here and mow this really rough terrain with a farm tractor without tearing it all to pieces. It mowed all this brush. This brush was probably, I say brush, it was brush and grass. It was probably, I'm about 6 foot tall, it's about 6 feet high, and it just looks great. It turned out absolutely awesome. I've got a little bit more mowing to do, as you guys can see. All the way down in these bushes has to be mowed. This was an area that we had forestry mulched this past year. I've got to get in here and mow, and then I've got to get in here with a skid steer and straighten out some of this mess. This will be silvopasture in the future on the farm. So this will all be fenced, and the cows will be able to run and graze in the forest. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you all so much for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. The Ventrac did a fantastic job, as I knew it would. I just wanted to bring the Ventrac back into the forefront here, guys. This is a machine that I use all summer long and all winter long, keeping up the fence lines on the farm. That's what this machine does. Guys, thank you so much. Hit that like button. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge. There'll be a video right after this. Just watch it. Keep on watching. We'll see you next time. Woo! So come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. It's a busy day. Okay, what's on the lens? Up, up. Yeah, get up on the rock. There you go. I'm flying airplanes. If you buy property in the country, don't buy it near an airport.